based modern architecture, which we didn't have in the FRS days. Capital Asset Management System is very robust in KFS, and it will automate your depreciation computations, and it will help with your inventory, and it also handles buildings, room numbers. The labor ledger is a module that's the link between HR and finance. All of the payroll data from every pay period enters the labor ledger in detail. Who was paid, what accounts they were charged to, the benefits related with that payment. And from that point on, and then labor ledger summarizes that data and puts it into KFS in summary form. But from that point on, if any changes in the account distribution have to be made, they're made through the labor ledger. You don't need to go back into HR. And also your effort certification is handled out of the labor ledger. Budget construction will help you construct next year's budget with a lot of information from the current year, the ability to do projections, and sort of what if. It can be adjusted to whether you're top-down or bottom-up in how you do this. Now, a number of these modules, including contracts and grants, capital assets, labor ledger, budget construction, can be plugged in if you need them, and you don't have to use them if you don't want them. Maybe you have a very good capital asset management system. You can certainly keep it. That is the beauty of KFS, that it is modular, and you use the modules that you need on your campus. And as I mentioned earlier, the automatic entries such as indirect costs and cost share are done with each update. You can encumber indirect costs if you wish and be liquidating against that figure. That way your file is always up to date. The import-export capabilities we've mentioned. Endowment management. Now, you can handle the dollars for an endowment operation in KFS. The endowment management module goes further. It keeps track of individual securities, their cost basis. For each endowment that you have, it will project income this year and next year. It will show expenditures so far this year, what's left could be expended. There'll be a searchable database, how much money is available for students in math, for example. It will help in writing annual letters to donors, giving a status report on their endowment, and so on. And finally, accounts receivable. This is non-student accounts receivable. One use would be billing any sponsors, and certainly there are units, auxiliary enterprises, and others around your campus that are probably billing, and this way it's all automated and feeds correctly into KFS. Now, some of the early movers, because we're just now at the point where we have the code for the complete KFS, would be Colorado State University. These are all FRS institutions. They're implementing July of 2009, which is just about here. University of Arizona is engaged in an implementation right now, and they expect to be up and running January of 2010. The University of Hawaii, with all of its 10 campuses, are aiming for July 2011. University of Connecticut, 2009, did a proof of concept. So these institutions are starting the transition from FRS to KFS. And of course, many other universities are moving to KFS. Some of the development partners, all of whom are committed to an implementation at some point, would include Indiana University, Michigan State University, Cornell University, Hawaii, San Joaquin Delta College, University of Southern California, University of California System, Davis, Irvine, Santa Barbara, University of Maryland, And those are just development partners. There are some committing who were not part of the development effort. So within a few years, there'll be a pretty big critical mass of higher ed operating KFS. And now I'd like to kind of switch from comparing FRS to KFS and talk about the proof of concept approach that RSmart has developed, and we've used this now at a number of universities. The proof of concept approach is a low-priced and low-risk way to learn a lot more about KFS. If I can get my slide to advance a little more. Typically, the proof of concept takes 3 to 6 months. You can see that on the left. And if you should then decide to move on into an implementation, some of the work has already been done, and that might take another 6 to 12 months. And the way the proof of concept works, once it's initiated, we come out to your campus. I'm trying to advance this. And we would do an assessment and a high-level fit gap. This would be RSmart staff who are expert both on the technology side and on the functional side. Then the software would be initialized either at RSmart hosting it or on your own campus so that you would have the programs in and ready to go. We would come up with a conversion strategy. How are we going to migrate all of your data elements into KFS? We would do the configuration and conversion. Then you would have a file with your own data. And then you can do hands-on evaluation training. You can have end users test the system. You can and see how they react to it. And then if you wished, we could move ahead with developing an implementation project plan and budget. So it's kind of a low-risk way to start learning a lot about KFS very quickly. For some colleges and universities, we converted for their proof of concept just a sample of all the different kinds of accounts they have. But for an FRS school, we already have written the scripts, and we know a lot about how to get your account in FRS to become a KFS account, and so on. So we would probably convert all of your accounts at once. So we would come out, the timetable in month 1, do an assessment, initialize software. In month 2, we would develop the conversion strategy. By month 3, we'd load the proof of concept. At this point, you would have your own accounts, your own beginning balances, your own budgets in KFS. And you could then perform transactions, run certain reports. Then there would be an evaluation and training period. And then, if you wished, an implementation plan could be developed. Now, why is this a good approach? Well, it does enable you to really test KFS in your environment with your accounts and your data. It reduces cost and risks by taking incremental steps, but not committing you to a future step until you're ready. And it engages all of the campus stakeholders to come and test this actually from their desktop. We know at Colorado State, you're just going to hear about when the provost's office and the president's office saw the power of workflow, they were quite sold. And it does help you get buy-in from all of the different stakeholders on your campus. So this has proved to be a very good approach, and it has led to a number of committed implementations.